Good morning, option addicts. It is Tuesday, September 11th, 2007. My name is Jeff Kohler, aka the Option Addict, and here's a little bit of insight into my weekly watch list. Starting off with the chart here of the Russell, I'm sure you guys are noticing right now that the market's pretty much just exploded open about 100 points or so. So looks like the tail of the tape today starting off positive. We'll see how the day finishes out, but these are some nice steady gains we're seeing here this morning. So I'm going to cut right to the chase. This here is going to be some chart patterns that I'm eyeballing for this week, and I'm going to first start off with something I found in Celgene, ticker symbol CELG, and that is a nice little rounding formation here, and what may end up being a cup and handle. It's a little early to tell, but it's stalling here at resistance, which happens to be at about $76 per share. This could be a pretty good intermediate term trade, about 3 to 4 months, and one that could make about a $10 move based on the distance here between highs and lows. So I'm keeping an eye on this. It might be a little while before it ends up breaking through 66, but when we talk about relative strength, I mean, here you go, a stock that's right at its highs when the market's still about 5% off of its highs. So keep an eye on Celgene. I like what I'm seeing here so far. And speaking of cup and handle formation, I was watching diodes as kind of a triangle breakout, which it broke out, but now it's still resting at that $30 level as support. But if you look at this from the longer term perspective, I think the reason it's neglecting to really move in a fast and furious pace is that there is some longer term resistance here at about 30, which we may see a nice little cup and handle formation here also. And I think we might have already delved out a nice little handle. You can see that about a month or so ago we had a pretty good retracement off of the highs. But a breakout above 30 is going to be a really big deal for the stock, and it's pedaling right around that level. So nothing major yet, but there's a reason why, if you're in this trade, why it hasn't really made that explosive movement that you would have thought here in a breakout. I'm going to look at a couple other things. I'm going to look at a head and shoulders formation on Addict Corporation. Now, when you see this chart pull up, you might think, oh, what's he looking at? But if I switch over to a line chart here, you'll see that some of that bad data just kind of goes away, and you'll see a beautiful little neckline here in the realm of 36. But you see that we're off that by about $1.25, $1.40, whatever. If the market starts to pull back, we've established obviously a lower high than we've seen here off of the head, which is cool. I'm keeping it on my radar until I see a break below this neckline, which is at 36. It's about $1.50 away. So right now I'm not getting all worked up over it. If it works out, great. I should see a pretty good reversal here. In fact, if I count it up, I would be expecting about a 6-point move, which should be about a 20% decline in the stock, which, I'm crossing my fingers, maybe I get that kind of an opportunity. Who knows? But there you go. Next, in the home builder sector, the next stock to implode is going to be Meritage. I'm going to switch back over to candles so I can get some nice color bars going in here. There we go. And Meritage, strong support here. Yes, right at about $16 per share. Lower highs, so there's the next chart pattern that should work out in the home builders is Meritage. So it's a cheap stock, and it's going to be hard buying puts on a stock less than $20 per share. So I don't know, maybe you pass over this one, maybe you short the stock, who knows. But it doesn't look like there's any sign of a bottom here in the home builder crisis. So Meritage looks like the next one that's probably going to give way of support. And speaking of a big-time giveaway of support, Guess Jeans, the stock I was watching on that was trading near its highs a little while ago, is now making some lows and broken and confirmed a nice little triple top. Hopefully we get a reversal out of this one, because if that's the case, we're talking about a 6 to 7 point move in the underlying. Now I'm giving this about a 2-month window to happen, which is probably a lot more than I'd really need. But October paper is probably going to suit you just fine, to be quite honest. But a break in this would mean we set our targets right about to 37 or so. So see if we get a big move out of Guess. SanDisk, maybe some relative weakness in technology, maybe a similar pattern orchestrating right here. There's some resistance, there's some support. being pretty close to that line, that support line at about 52. Maybe we see another triple top reversal here in SanDisk. I don't know. I'm not calling it out. I'm just saying that's what I see. We'll see if it gives way or not. Respironic. So looking at some relative strength, this is kind of early to be calling this out, but maybe we've got a triangle going on here. Yeah, that's right, another one. So I'm watching resistance here at about 48.5. We're out in front of this one by maybe a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, but it's good to have some ammo so that you're always trading no matter what. So keep Respironics on your radar. The trade I'm going to take here would be a breakout of about 48.5. JCOM, I want to revisit this one because you know what? If you have your lines drawn here, I don't know, man. This might not have been a real great breakout. And I always use volume to define breakout. To me, the two go hand in hand. There's been no volume. There's been really no big price action outside of this pattern. So when I look at this right here, I don't see a breakout yet. And I know some people might be trading this right now, and that's okay. But there's been no real big break of support or resistance with that volume. There hasn't been that event that confirms this. So as of right now, JCOM's still on my radar, but I don't see anything too riveting to want to take a trade in yet. Monster was one that we looked at last week, and you can see that it's kind of hesitating right around support at about 33, so keep your eye on that. I'm also going to pull up Sohu, S-O-H-U. Looking a little toppy maybe. I don't know. Excuse me, there's how I see it. Maybe another triple top, but so far out in front of this, it's not even funny. Maybe it breaks out to the upside, and it's not a triple top. It just ends up being a a nice little consolidation and a breakout. Or you keep this on your list for a month. Maybe you see a break of support at some point. Yeah, I know we're a little far off of the lows, but what are you going to do? I had to fill up 10 minutes. Joy Global, J-O-I-G. Descending triangle. Here's one of the stocks that I hate. Had some bad run-ins with the stock in the past, but I like this pattern here because it's about a little more than $8, maybe a $9 price pattern here as far as its magnitude, if you want to say so. Support here at 42.5, no real constructive break of that yet, but when I see that, when the volume's there, I'm going to get some puts and give the stock a second chance. It's only burned me once or twice, so 3 times and it's out. That's my old golden rule. And then finally, the realty stocks. On the market cast last night, I mentioned looking for some bearish plays to unfold here, and that's because I'm seeing a lot of possible continuation patterns out of this group. Now, I know AVB looks a little messy. If I switch over to line chart, that kind of goes away. You can see the consolidation forming here. There's like a bunch of coils winding really tightly. In fact, if you prefer, look at Boston Properties, BXP. Same thing. Series of lower highs, series of higher lows. Looks like some triangle action. So maybe this group isn't beaten to death. Maybe there's still a lot more downside. And again, I think that's going to be based on how messy the housing market gets. And it looks like it's not getting anywhere close to a bottom. The word bottom isn't even coming up in conversation. So that's my truth, and I'm sticking to it. This has been the Option Addict, and we'll see you on the blog, hopefully, www.optionaddict.blogspot.com. Take care.